Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am live for the first time ever, you guys. If it wasn't for copyright reasons, I would have us jamming, but my voice done changed since I had COVID. But one of my favorite songs, like on days where I just want to relax or feel good about myself, like self-care Sundays, is definitely Mary J. Blige, Just Fine. It's something about like look good in the mirror, like you just feel totally good. So I wanted to just have that little blurb just to say hello to everybody. Welcome if you're live or if you're catching the replay. I still want to give you guys a warm welcome. So I'm going to just like give a few minutes for a couple people to dive in. Natasha says, hello. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh, you're the first person to comment. That feels so good. That feels so good. So let me know where you guys are from. I have my cup right here that says hello, gorgeous. So make sure you guys grab like a little beverage. It's Self Care Sunday. I got my blanket right here because I want to be nice and cozy. We want to feel good. This is not something to be uptight about. Like, at all. Self Care Sunday is definitely about relaxing. San Diego, California. I'm in South Florida, West Palm Beach. Love it here. But if there was another place, right, that I could go, it would be California, Natasha. It definitely would. I visited a couple times, but I'm going to just dive in. If you're catching it, still drop in down in the comments section, just where you're from. Say hey to me so I can say hey back. But I just want to talk a little bit about Self Care Sunday, what it's all about to me. I want this to try to be as discussion based as possible. This is my first live, you guys. I want you guys to get to know me a little bit more, and I want to make sure that I connect with you guys. So, when I think of like self care Sunday, why is it a thing? It's super cliche right now. I feel like it's used a lot as like a buzzword, like self care, but I thought it would be good just like in real time to talk about like what self care Sunday is, what it actually means, how we can like benefit from it and not just like check off some boxes because that's like more of a task and not something that you can actually benefit from. So, when I think of like Self Care Sunday, it's like a day to dedicate to you. Now, if there are some people who are like, I work on Sunday, so I can't have Self Care Sunday, don't think about it being like one traditional day. Listen, I'm all about like breaking the mold. Do what's good for you, boo boo. Okay. So, if you work on Sundays, Self Care Saturdays, Self Care Friday, whatever day it is, I want you to know that it's just a day for you like to dedicate to getting reset for the week or just adding in some of those favorite things so that you don't get burnt out and so you aren't like super exhausted because your girl been there. I just keep trucking, keep trucking, and then it's not really like beneficial and not what you want it to be. So definitely want you guys to just say that. Oh, somebody says, hey, I'm in the UK. Definitely. There's another there's somebody also from Columbus, Ohio. Yes, hey everybody, let's keep vibing. But let me know, guys, like, are you really a person who loves self-care Sunday, or do you just add in self-care wherever you can get it? Like, I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides. Somebody say, hey, how are you today? Doing really good. This is my first time like seeing, like real live, words from you guys. So it feels really good. So I'm doing really good. But yeah, like I used to just get it how I could get it with self-care. I used to just be like, okay, I'm gonna have some tea or I'm gonna go on a walk, and it felt super duper sporadic. And then as I learned more of the benefits and I was able to like calm myself and ground myself more, then I was able to say, hey, like, all right, there's some validity to this self-care thing. Like, I don't need to just be like a chicken with my head cut off trying to like do all these little tasks and I'm still overwhelmed. So that's why I think it's good just to have like a dedicated day, because if not, you could be kind of run down even while you're trying to add in that self-care. So you guys, let me know in the comments, like, what's your favorite? Oh, I have a whole self care weekend. Listen, Come through for the self-care weekend. Okay, that's definitely goals. I love it. I have 3 kids, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to get that whole weekend. But when I'm on vacation or I'm traveling with the mister, like a weekend, it's like amazing. It just feels good. You feel like you have so much time and then you're not like rushed. So I love it for the weekend. It's so cool. And I just love it. So definitely like keep popping in. I am reading the chat as well. But I just wanted to just also talk a little bit about like routines. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I heard routine, I just was like, listen, I can't put no structure in my life. I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm over here, over there. And so I kind of fought routine for a long time because I was like, I'm like I'm free flowing. Like I don't want to be rigid and everything like that. But as I realized that if I don't schedule things, then it just doesn't happen. Like y'all, I'm all about transparency. I didn't even actually introduce myself. I feel like some of you guys know me already, but if you don't, hey, I'm Rashonda. I'm a licensed therapist and self care coach, and I love all things self care, like all things self care. I love guiding and teaching people how to prioritize themselves. And so, yeah, I'm starting like this little series on self care Sundays, and this is episode 1. Hey, and so dive back into it, but before I used to just really fight against routines. I didn't want to schedule it. It kind of felt a little bit intimidating because it was kind of holding myself accountable. And I really didn't want to be held accountable for taking care of myself. I would hold myself accountable for taking care of my kids, taking care of my husband, taking care of my friends, and being there for them. But when it came to me, I just felt like there was nothing left, or that it wasn't a priority, or that it wasn't that important for me to write it down. And I came to like realize that, girl, you are giving yourself the short end of the stick with this self-care. Like you're being there for everybody else, being everybody's cheerleader, everybody's champion, and depending on what type of family structure you are, you might be the golden child. And so I had to say, wait a minute, let me reevaluate where I am and where I'm placing myself on the totem pole in my life, because I was too far down. And I felt it. I was tired. I was burnt out. I was annoyed. I was irritated, and I wasn't able to kind of be my best self. So I really love that when I was going through and I decided to say, hey, I'm going to plant some roots. I'm going to have a routine. I'm going to prioritize myself. You guys, I felt so much better. I was able to be a better Rashonda. I was able to be a better friend, a better wife, a better mom, a better coworker, a better therapist. Okay. I was able to just show up as a better version of myself. And it felt so good because I also didn't have an imposter syndrome. Oh, okay. Listen. Okay. We're going to take a little pause and read this real quick. Okay, so Natasha says, my self care Sunday is taking bubble baths and listening to podcasts such as the Homecoming podcast with Dr. Thema. I hope I said that right. I have 3 daughters, but they are actually all adult now. So learning this new life. Oh my gosh, love it. Love bubble baths. Side note, in my new house, I don't have a bath tub in there, just a shower. So I'll have to replace that a little bit. But yes, I used to love bubble baths. I really like listening to podcasts as well. I'm gonna have to check that one out. And so you're in like this new phase. I love that. It can be a little scary, kind of stepping into this new life, but I love that you use the word learning and not kind of fearful, because that's like super awesome. And a better therapist. Love that. Yes, yes. We have to like speak truth. If you don't speak truth, it's hard to give like loved ones and people that you feel supported by to speak life and truth into your life. So that's just a little nugget there, y'all. Like if you want others to be able to like tell you the truth, it's like really good for them to hear you tell the truth. And one of the hard truths for me, ooh, yes, shower steamers are a way to spice up the shower. Listen, I'm owning Amazon. They not even ready for it. I'm adding to the cart after this. I promise you, I'm adding to the cart. But when I started to say, hey, like I don't feel good or I'm tired, and then I said, then I follow up with that, right? I don't just state the problem of me being tired or burnt out or struggling. I say, you know what? I know I really didn't prioritize me. So can I have this time this week? And you know what? They were like, yes. Or if my best friend called me and, I didn't have the mental space, I didn't feel guilty because I was like, hey, I'd love to be there for you, but right now I kind of need to take care of myself. Nothing but love, nothing but support. And it just felt really, really good. So I started to first be truthful with myself, and then that gave me the permission and the space to be truthful for other people. So routines help you with being accountable and also help you with being able to communicate that to your loved ones. And that really increases the likelihood of you actually caring for yourself. So I love that. Okay, we're going to take another pause. Okay, so Roxy says, I'm so proud of myself for putting time into regular self care. I'm so used to putting effort into everyone else. Finally, time to prioritize myself. Oh my gosh, Roxy, listen, welcome to the club. Don't it feel so good to step into that and say, I am finally ready to prioritize myself. As a therapist, I naturally give to others, and whether you're a caregiver, a friend, wherever you are, and whatever label or role you are in, if you are a giver, it is hard to give to yourself. So, Roxy, I'm glad you're giving yourself permission. And for anybody who's watching live or on the replay, listen, Rashonda is saying, give yourself permission. Sometimes it's hard to give ourselves permission. So we need somebody else to say it. So I'm your cheerleader, like saying, listen, take care of you. Make it a routine, designate a day, and ground yourself in it. So, just like a little recap, we're talking about self care Sunday or fill in the blank, whatever day that you have off, right? Make that a day, ground yourself. It holds you to be accountable, right? And then work on making it a routine, because then it's something that you look forward to. It's a standing appointment with yourself, which also increases the likelihood that you'll actually do it. And then people are also chatting and letting us know some of their favorite ways to add self-care into their life. Bubble baths, for me it's going to be steam showers. Like, listen, I just learned that steam showers is a thing. I also love to listen to music, right? I love skincare. I love having a cup of tea because it slows me down. So these are things that I love. So if you notice that I said I, right? Like, I, self-care is about you. When I'm working with people, I find that they are like subscribe to other people's lifestyles. Okay. Subscribe to other people's lifestyle. Yes. On YouTube, your subscribers, on Instagram, your followers, and such and such. But they are looking into people's lives and then placing those labels on them. And I'm like, wait, is that something you like? Or is that something that someone else said is something that you should do? Right. And I found that so many people were living by other people's standards. So, Self Care Sunday and this series is going to be about looking at you, the person in the mirror, the person who has to walk, in the shoes that you're wearing, not someone else's, not looking at somebody else through a phone and being like, oh my gosh, like their life just looks so perfect. Listen, I'm not judging you. I had to go on a big social media detox because I was getting caught up in that as well. That effect of just looking at people's lives and being like, how does she wake up at 5 in the morning? And then I realized she don't got 3 kids. And then I was like, oh, check yourself, Rashonda, before you wreck yourself, right? We can chase after other people's goals and get so far away from ourselves that we don't even recognize ourselves. And like, I just made a video about having to re envision myself because I still have long term COVID. I'm like on a year of this healing journey, and I've learned so much about myself. And um, it's a beautiful thing, but it was also hard. Very hard. And so one of the things was making sure that I'm not looking at how other people are dealing with wellness or even healing from COVID, right? Like I had to look from myself, and it was such a beautiful thing. Someone asked, Can you give any tips on not feeling bad for saying no, working through my people pleasing habits? Yes. Okay. So also, if you have questions for me, this is like also like Q&A. So definitely drop questions for me if you want me to answer them. But yes, um, that's a good one, right? That's a good one. So in addition, when you're subscribing to like other people's lives and then you take a look in the mirror, and you're like, listen, I want to learn how to set boundaries. I want to learn how to take care of myself. I want to tell people no. You're going to get some pushback, right? Because they're used to this version of yourself of saying yes. Some hard truths. They don't want you to say no. They don't really want you to prioritize yourself, not because they don't love you. I hope not. But most likely they're benefiting from it, right? Because if you're that person that always says yes, like they call you, you're reliable. Like that's a strength of yours. That's something that you probably feel good about. Is like being the reliable person, the reliable friend, the person who's always going to show up. When you decide not to show up, there does come with some guilt, right? You feel bad because a part of your identity within yourself and the people's lives that you have been in, right, have been as that reliable person, as that people pleaser, as that person who like maybe feels good about being validated that yes, you're a good person because you help people out. Yes, you're a good person because you say yes. Yes, you're a good person because you're dependable. So you yourself have to say, hey, wait a minute. Okay, when I say no, why do I feel bad? Right? You got to ask yourself that hard question. You got to ask yourself that question. Why do I feel bad? Do I feel bad because that's how I validate my self esteem and that's how I feel good? Am I afraid that they're going to be mad at me? Right? Am I afraid that they're going to stop talking to me? Has our whole friendship or relationship been built on me always saying yes? So you have to ask yourself those hard questions. And once you confront yourself with asking those questions, what are you really afraid of? What actually stops you from saying no? You can then challenge that guilt that you feel. You can then challenge, all of the negative feelings. So I'll just give a personal story. So um, my mom is a toxic mother. Okay. She's a toxic mother. And one of the ways that I would kind of keep things easy going was pretty much saying yes. If she needed me to help her out with something, I would say yes because I didn't want to hear her mouth. Okay. I just didn't want to hear her mouth. So I would just say yes. But then I became burnt out. I really didn't like the person that I was. And I realized that she needs to be checked. I need to be able to live my life for me. And I can't do that if I'm always at your beck and call, right? So if you're at her beck, if I'm at my mom's beck and call and I'm doing something for me, I'm going to put her needs above mine. That's the opposite, right? Of the version of myself that I want to step into, of me being able to be happier and thriving. So when I did start saying no to my mom, there was lots of resistance. Oh, you changed. Why would you say no to me? Call me out my name, not talk to me for a couple weeks. And I'm going to be honest, it ate me alive knowing that my mom was so upset with me because I chose to say no. And then I went to therapy for it. I went to therapy for it, you guys. And then that's when I was able to challenge and say, wait a minute, she's angry because I'm choosing to take care of myself. Run that back. She's angry because I'm choosing to prioritize my schoolwork or my job over running over there to help her with something less important. When I started to do that, Roxy, and started to challenge the reasons why they're upset, I was able to see that it was false guilt, not true guilt of what I was feeling. So you have true guilt when it's like something like if you run into the back of somebody's car, or if you call somebody out their name, or you badger somebody, or you manipulate and you feel bad about it, yeah, most likely you probably should feel bad about it. But if you just told your boss, hey, I can't work this weekend. Oh, thank you, Felicia. If you chose to tell your boss that you can't work this weekend because that's your day off and you feel bad about setting that, that's probably not true guilt, right? That is false guilt. That's us saying, stepping out of our comfort zone and setting boundaries and stepping into this new version. So Roxy, one of my big tips is to look at the situations where you want to say no. Don't choose to like do that everywhere in your life. I would say first start with one person, learn that, deal with the negative kickback, deal with the negative emotions by journaling, talking to someone who you care about, listening to motivational podcasts or music during those negative feelings when you want to cave, because you're gonna want to cave, Roxy. Like you're not gonna want to sit in that negative space. You're not gonna want to deal with the things that they're gonna say or how they're gonna treat you. But from that one person, you'll learn the true benefit of the boundaries and stepping out of the people pleasing and really put yourself on solid ground and then work your way to other people. So if your parents are the hardest people, don't start with them. Start small. Start with a friend and saying no. Start with a sibling. You that desire to stop people pleasing and to feel good about your responses and to feel good about setting those boundaries, because you now know that, wait a minute, I'm a better version of myself when I set those boundaries. So Roxy, I hope that was helpful. Let me know any other questions that you have. Oh, somebody subscribed. Hey girl, thank you so much. When you set boundaries, you have to grieve your old self and go through your discomfort to get to a better self. Yes, Natasha, listen, snap fingers for that. I love it because you're stepping into this new version. So even you identified as a people pleaser, right? That is an identity that you need to shed, right? This layer, kind of like snakes, they shed this skin, baby. Okay. And step out into this shiny new you, but it takes work. It takes time. So don't think of it as instant gratification that you're going to say no. And then you're going to be like, boom, I'm free of people pleasing. If only that was true. It's not true. It's a process. So self-love, validate yourself, hype yourself up. Hit me up in an email or DM me if you need extra support, because I will hype you up and say, listen, you are on the right path. I support you, cheer you on, and all of that. Like all of that. Okay. Oh, somebody said, "Oh my gosh, that's me." That listen, we all have had moments where we chose the easier route to people please, whether it's your upbringing or, other people that you saw, we all have these tendencies. It's just finding out how to make sure that it does not dim your light or make it difficult for you to, practice self-care and to take care of yourself. That's what today's all about. It's all about like practicing self-care, choosing a day, and we're sprinkling in some Q&A. So I love it. Somebody said, I love your content. Thank you so much. I like super duper appreciate that, because, you kind of never know. It's a passion of mine. So I love that you guys love a passion of mine that I'm doing. So I love that. So for those who are saying, I want to create this routine, but I don't know where to start, one of the ways that you can start with is just finding out what you love. Be like, kind of like, how kids are like super inquisitive and curious about everything and kind of, like are okay with trying new things. I want you to be that. I want you to discover that inner child in you, and I want you to just try new things. It wasn't until I moved to Atlanta, because I lived in a few states. I lived in Florida, Georgia, and Virginia. But it wasn't until I moved to Georgia that I found out that Black people do hike. Go figure. Never knew that Black people hiked. I promise you, like God's honest truth. And so it wasn't until somebody was like, hey, you want to go hiking? And I wasn't resistant. I tried it. And you guys, I love hiking. I don't know where I'm going to hike in South Florida, but looks like I'm gonna still be traveling. But it's about discovering new things and new ways, to inspire you to feel good. If you're a person that loves to crochet, somebody laughed. If you love to crochet, I taught myself how to crochet from YouTube. I forgot how to do it, but I might pick it back up. But it's just different things, in this new chapter of my life. I don't have taste or smell. And so I used to be a big foodie. Can't get a lot of joy from food anymore, you guys. Drop a tear for me, okay? Drop a tear for me. So I'm trying to discover other things where I would love to go out to eat and try different restaurants and boutiques and diners and all of that. I had to fill up that big gap because that gap was big, y'all. It was very big. So I've been getting back into roller skating that I used to do in my youth. I even bought some new roller skates. Look out for a vlog on that. But oh, sorry, my necklace kind of shining. But look out for things that you actually enjoy. And if you don't know, go out there and find it. Go out there and find it. I have a free downloadable of like 50 self care ideas for you to try, whether that's reading. If you don't like reading, audiobooks are amazing. Podcasts are also really great. And so don't feel limited or have these barriers. I talked about earlier about all of these different things you can find on the internet, social media about people talking about self care. But I want you to keep in mind that what works for them may not work for you. 5 a.m., listen, tried it, don't like it, won't go back to it. Okay. So sometimes it's growing pains, but sometimes you also have to recognize that that's not for you. It doesn't make you less of a person, it doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't mean that you're going to be, unhealthy. What it means is that you just aren't that person and it just doesn't fit your lifestyle at the moment. I've come to find that happy medium of 6:30 in the morning. That's still enough time for me to have my morning meditation, my morning devotional with God, and then to say, hey, let me go make these lunches for my kids. But for a while, I was trying to fit myself into this box that other people said was the right thing to do. So if there's anything that you guys take from this episode of Self Care Sunday, it's to personalize it, to look at the person in the mirror and to say, hey, what do you need? What is necessary for you to thrive? Water, food, shelter, those are all the necessities. But let's look at in addition to that. Do you need one dedicated hour a day just to decompress? How are you going to use that time? Do you need a full day once a month, right? So maybe you can't do every day, but then go even smaller. I challenge that and say there are 5 minute self care activities that you can do. 5 minutes. I sometimes meditate for only 1 minute, couple deep breaths, clear my mind, and I'm into my next session. So I want you to not look at those influencers. I ain't judging them, y'all. I'm just saying, I ain't judging them. But to look at them and to say, oh my gosh, wait, they just took a whole week vacation. I can't practice self-care until I take that week. Lies. Okay. Lies. You can take 5 minutes and build upon that, right? You can take 10 minutes and build upon that. Somebody said for me, it's been getting back on my bike, 20-mile rides on Saturday morning with the exclamation. Rather than just looking at it as just exercise, it's a way to show gratitude for my health and the ability to move. Oh my goodness. First of all, hats off. If I had a hat, hats off to you. 20-mile rides. Listen, I need you to let me know some tips for that. That's amazing. Kudos to you. That's beautiful. And I love that you're reframing it in a way of gratitude for your health and the ability to move. I've been down and out for for almost a year with low fatigue, and so not taking the ability to walk for 10 minutes, right, for granted. So I love that you're bringing it back to the appreciation. A heart of gratitude and a mindset of gratitude is a beautiful way to live a happier life and to be able to just channel positivity, because difficult circumstances are going to come. But if you can bring it back to things that you're grateful for, right? One of the things that I do to end off my night, especially if it was a difficult day, one of my self care practices is to write 3 things that I'm grateful for. And that's how I try to end my night. I don't try to end it on, today really sucked and it was trash. That's one of my favorite words, y'all. I love to say that. That it was trash. I try to end it on a positive note to say the things that I'm grateful for. And so for you, yes, you're grateful for your health because we don't want to compare, but some people can't walk, some people can't function. And so I love that you're able to not only take care of yourself physically, but you're also really providing a positive foundation for yourself mentally, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So yes, heart back to you, love that. um that's powerful. Gratitude for my health, awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes we don't really put things in the category of self care, but practicing gratitude is self care. It really, really is, because it's a way for you to ground yourself and to be dedicated to saying, hey, what is necessary for me, right? What positive things happened? And it draws you, right? Listen, imagine this rope, you guys. It draws you from a negative place or negative experiences, because our mind annoyingly gravitates and remembers the negative things more. So let's say you had a beautiful day, and then but you stubbed your toe, or you like hit your arm on something, or you had one angry phone call, or somebody got on your nerves. Listen, the list could go on. But if that happened, right? You will remember that. It will stick out like a sore thumb in your mind, and you might even replay it of like what you should have said, how you should have reacted, blame yourself, whatever the case is. But our mind will fixate on that negative thing and disregard all the positive things, like being able to wake up in the morning, having a job, having food, some of the really small things that we just take for granted, and so having, gratitude in your life grounds you in a really, really beautiful way. And it helps you to also celebrate the wins in your life. I'm a person who can go through and not really celebrate myself. And so I made it a mission these past few years to really celebrate the wins, whether they're small or they're big. And it really gives me kind of like this positive nest egg, right, to rely on during difficult times. So yes, gratitude can be such a positive and powerful thing in your life. So you can start your day with it, or you can end your day, but it's a powerful way to create those shifts. And speaking of shifts, taking it back to Self Care Sunday, you guys, self care allows you also to make shifts in your life and in your well being. So that's what it's also about, like dedicating, making sure that if you're in a state of chaos, it can ground you mentally and emotionally. If you find yourself physically spent, it can also be a place to uplift you and to help you, like kind of rejuvenate you and say, hey, like I'm at rock bottom, but let me give myself, a boost or some life. And so it could be a really powerful way to shift yourself mentally, emotionally. If you didn't know, I'm going to be making a video on it. I'm going to be actually doing a self-care challenge, like a 7 day, a 5 or 7 day. For you guys, let me know in the chat, would you guys like a 5 day challenge or a 7 day challenge for self care? Um, but as you're thinking of ways to create those shifts, right, you can think about it starting day by day, taking care of yourself, getting more comfortable with it, allowing it to be a priority, and then allowing for it to then be a routine, something that you desire, something that is a non negotiable for you. That is almost like the end point. If there's a destination, it would be that your self-care in whatever version it's on is a non-negotiable. And just circling back, that when you're thinking about self-care and creating those shifts, there's different pillars of self-care. So whether it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, that's one that people don't like to talk about, that financial self-care. We got to have our money right, because that can be a big source of stress now. But thinking about how you can give back to yourself with those different pillars. So I was definitely thinking about adding in a challenge to just challenge us to use and pull a self-care activity from each pillar every day, and for all of us just to join in and do that. So let me know whether you're live or catching the replay. Drop it down and let me know 5 or 7 days. I'm like a little bit undecided. 7 days seems kind of long, but it could also like really make it more powerful. So yes. Oh, 5 days. Okay. So see, I felt like 5 days is like a good number. Cheryl, like, yes, I feel like 5 days could be a good number. So look out for that. Look out for that that challenge. I'm excited about that, because when I first like learned about self-care, I was just like, okay, bubble baths and candles, and I wasn't quite sure, but then I started to peel back those layers and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, you guys. This is so much more than what I thought. And so it's been a very beautiful way for me to instill it in myself, for me to feel good, and also for me to be able to do my passion. So whether you guys realize it or not, if you're like me, oh, I have a couple people saying 7. Oh gosh, I gotta decide. Depending on when you start, I'm going to need that weekend to be included. Listen, I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. I was thinking, you guys, of Monday to Friday, or I guess Monday to Sunday. And I want kind of like a live kind of kickoff call, like with all of us, like celebrating and things that we learned from the challenge. So it's an idea of mine that is brewing, that I just want to do. I love, being able to support and like having like a little like tribe, right, of people who are on this same journey with you, so that you don't feel so alone and isolated while you're trying to care for yourself. So that's definitely the goal, creating a sacred space. So yes, y'all keep letting me know. Keep letting me know. But as you're trying to like guide yourself and take care of yourself, there are times where you don't recognize how, if you don't take care of yourself, what's the consequences of it? For me, I wasn't able to be present in my children's lives. I really wasn't able to really have those like conversations and be there for my husband. And I found myself, looking at the phone and putting it back down because I didn't have the space to even talk to my friends and hang out with them. And so once I realized the cost of not practicing self-care, I started to take it real serious, like real serious. So if you guys feel like you don't have a lot of motivation, and you're wondering like why you can't like jump on, prioritizing yourself, think about the cost and see if that motivates you, because it sobered me real good, just recognizing what the cost was if I did not take care of myself. So you guys, I really hope that you guys learned and feel like you had value from this first episode of Self Care Sunday. I'm hoping to, bring it back and do more episodes of it. My goal is really just to have self care discussions and allow you guys just to ask questions, and for us just to chat and support and feel like, hey, I'm not alone when it comes to wanting to prioritize self-care, wanting to prioritize healing. Because listen, like whether you're on the live or catching the replay, you can see that whether it's people pleasing, setting boundaries, practicing gratitude, that you're not alone. It is something that people want to intentionally have in their life. And hopefully on my channel, everybody can like gather and we can support each other. I'm definitely feeling good about this new chapter in my life, where I want to continue to connect and be a support to you guys. So you guys, oh, somebody said, yes, indeed. Thank you. I needed this. Oh, I'm so happy, Cheryl. Like, I'm happy that you're stepping into this new chapter. Please, you guys, I want to make content that you enjoy. So please leave comments. Let me know videos. The next video that I'm going to be filming is dealing with transitions. Some people commented on my last video about transitions and how they can be difficult, and seeing as though I'm still in one. You guys, I'm still in the Airbnb. I'm still in Airbnb. I've been in one for 3 months while my house is being built. And so the next, probably not the next one, but in a couple of weeks, probably the next episode of Self Care Sunday, I'll be in my new home. And so I'm going to be really excited to talk about just what that's like. But I want to just give some tips and some support and some of my just, tips and advice about dealing with transition since I moved different states. I was sick for a year, lots of transition, so that, I can help you definitely be on your journey. But thank you, everybody, for my first live here on YouTube. You guys made it so warm and welcoming. I was like kind of nervous, but you guys made it so beautiful. And I am truly, truly thankful, like, for the kind words and for the laughter, okay, because we laughed on here as well, and for asking your questions. So whether it's exercise, prayer, journaling, getting support, hanging out with your friends, candles, a bath, taking walks, find ways to take care of yourself, find ways to feel inspired to prioritize yourself. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's because it's your journey. So, if there's anything that you take from it, personalize it. It's your life. Make sure that how you're taking care of yourself is geared towards you. So, discover what you love, discover the time, discover your own routine, and then start going after, that version of you that's your best self. So, thank you guys again. I'm so thankful. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next episode, or in the next video. Bye, you guys. I feel like I wish I just like jam out a little bit. I wish I could jam out to some music, but I can't. But, in your head, play your favorite song to close us out, okay? Play your favorite song to close us out. Bye, you guys. Be well. Happy healing.